Our distinguished guest for today's Creative Foundation Chronicle interview is Dr. Rotimi Aluko, a professor and Tier 1 Canada Research Chair in the Department of Food and Human Nutritional Sciences at the University of Manitoba. He also serves as director of the Richardson Centre for Food Technology and Research. Dr. Aluko holds a PhD in food science from the University of Guelph, along with an MSc in biochemistry from Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, Nigeria, and a BSc in biochemistry from the University of Lagos. After completing his doctoral studies, he continued at the University of Guelph as a postdoctoral fellow from 1996 to 1998. He then served as a research scientist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada in Saskatoon from 1998 to 2001. In 2001, Dr. Aluko joined the University of Manitoba as an assistant professor and rose to the rank of full professor in 2010. With 28 years of experience as an independent investigator, he has become a global leader in the study of food proteins, peptides, and polyphenolic compounds. Here is Professor Rotimi Aluko.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to be a guest speaker on this program. I appreciate the founder of Creative Foundation, Mr. Isha Akibolaji, for his dedication to the community. Oh, the Creative Foundation, I think I look at it that in 200 years' time, okay, society will look back and try to figure out, okay, that, what really, okay, or how do we celebrate, okay, Mr. Isha Akibolaji, who, created this, foundation. And I believe so. I believe so that in 200 years, people will look and say, they will try to sort of try to get into Mr. Isha's mind to say, okay, how did he come about this sort of wonderful, excellent, idea to create something that will train, okay, the young generation and bring them to the level whereby they can also give back to the society. And I say this because it is no secret that the young of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Okay? There's no, we know that. Okay? And therefore, a society that does not treat the young generation very well, okay, will reap, okay, bad outcomes in the end. I can give you many examples, okay? But what Isha has done with Creative Foundation, okay, is to establish an avenue whereby our leaders of tomorrow, our young people, okay, can be trained, can get skills, all right, that not only will benefit them, okay, in turning out to be very good professionals, but can also benefit the society. Okay, and again, when I say society, not just Nigerian society alone, but the society at large. Okay, and so the Creative Foundation, I think, is one of the most unique, organizations. Okay, dedicated to training our young, generation, the leaders of tomorrow. Okay, the people who tomorrow will run our society. Okay, and so the Creative Foundation, okay, is going to be one of these. It's one of, it's going to be one of these organizations that we look at 100, 200 years from now. Okay, and we say thank you. Okay, to Mr. Akibolaji for setting up this foundation. Okay, for providing an avenue for us to basically create a strong foundation for the society. Okay, in terms of our young generation, okay, to train our young generation, okay, to be very strong in terms of character, in terms of their professional goals, okay, in terms of their, their daily activities, in terms of their vision, these young people, okay, will eventually help us to build a better society. And I believe that, okay, when they do that, and even as they already are doing it now, okay, we will continue to appreciate, okay, the value, okay, the importance, the exceptional contributions of Creative Foundation, okay, that the influence will grow even beyond Winnipeg, okay, to the point whereby, even nationally, internationally, we hear of Creative Foundation, we hear of the impact on society, we hear of the innovative, work they are doing to build the young generation who will then help to maintain a very strong future for the society. So again, I think that it's the Creative Foundation, the value, okay, cannot be overstated. Okay, the service they provide to our society cannot be overstated. Okay, the discipline, okay, that they teach our children, okay, is exceptional, cannot be overstated. And the importance, okay, the importance that they have given, to we as not only Nigerians but even black people, all right, the ability of the foundation to give our young people this strong, self-image, for our young people to trust themselves, to be confident in what they say. You remember I said that one of the strong factors for success, okay, especially in my profession, is confidence. All right, Creative Foundation does this very well. The foundation gives our young people, it instills this confidence that tell them, yeah, be bold. Okay, you can achieve whatever your skills allow you to achieve. Go out there, okay, work hard. All right, be honest, okay, you can achieve what you want to achieve. So Creative Foundation, okay, is not only unique, okay, it is one of those once in a lifetime organizations, okay, that really dictate, okay, how our young people, okay, transition, okay, into excellent leaders, all right, that, basically provide a positive impact on society. And so I would say, again, thank you so much, to Mr. Isaac Ibolaji for this opportunity of, creating this wonderful foundation. Thank you to all the volunteers that maintain, okay, this wonderful organization. Thank you to all the kids, all the parents that, bring their children, okay, to be part of this wonderful Creative Foundation. It is something that really always gladdens my heart, whenever I hear an activity being carried out by the foundation. It's a foundation that will live forever, in my opinion, and will continue to grow in terms of not only its status, but in terms of its positive impact on our society. So again, thank you very much.
This is a Creative Foundation, and there's something creative about what is happening here today. Okay, we have young people, and then we have elders. Okay, you guys can see the elders in front, and then the young people. That's creativity. And there's a reason why today is not a typical career counseling. It's not the typical one. You've had that over and over. There is a reason. There has to be a reason why we have elders seated here, and then we have young people, creative young people that we expect so much from. And we have these two groups here. Can anybody, any of the young ones, tell us, why do we have elders here and then have young people? If somebody attempt to tell us why.
Youth get to learn from the elders, because there's a saying that what an elder will see when he's sitting down, a young person can't see it even if he climbs an Iroko tree. So the essence of having youth and elders in forums like this is for the youth to learn, because a lot of times of recent to have the trends that are swaying the youth. Sometimes most of them get carried away, they forget the roots where they are coming from. So this kind of forum will help us to learn the things that may have been lost along the line of our growth. So please, the youth, including myself, I'm open to learn today. Thank you.
Wow.
Before he was appointed a member of the Order of Canada, Yisa Akambalaji was a young, innovative, and widely celebrated artist and former educator, committed to helping youth build strong academic foundations and multicultural harmony. From Lagos, Nigeria, to Winnipeg, Canada, his vision grew into the Creative Foundation, a movement that empowers young people across cultures towards self-motivation, dedication, and a passion for learning. He believes there is plenty of room at the top, but too few are preparing to rise and occupy it. Here is Yisa Akambalaji, founder of the Creative Foundation.
I'll answer the main question we get from parents, and that, how did I come up with the idea of the Creative Foundation and why? The Creative Foundation was established in Winnipeg in 1999 to empower the youth through meaningful education so they can develop a strong academic foundation when they are still young. I strongly believe that if a child does not have a brain injury and is not too distracted, every child should be able to have a strong academic foundation. And recognizing that if a child must do well in the college or university without much stress, developing a strong academic foundation from kindergarten through high school is very important. I cannot overemphasize that. I have been a teacher myself. I've taught in high school and I have taught in a college, So I understand how important it is to develop a strong academic foundation. And in this day and age of computer technology and video games and television, we've come to realize when a child is to be registered with the Creative Foundation after school program, in the presence of their parents, they confess to us that they do not sleep until very late into the night. In fact, some confess to us that they do not sleep until 1 a.m., some 2 a.m., to the surprise of their parents. And the question we ask is, if a child must do well in school the following day, such child must have a good night's sleep. And children are very innocent. They do not actually understand why education is important. So with the Creative Foundation, we have very competent instructors in the sciences, in computer coding, web design, and fine art. But key in what we do is the mentoring. We make kids to realize how important education is and developing interest in education and school. We also make them realize how important it is that they go to bed early. So in the subjects that we teach at the Creative Foundation, we make the kids over time to present through the PowerPoint. Now this is to empower them and prepare them. And a number of them have come to tell how good they've been doing at school. So we've realized that a number of parents do not have, particularly parents who are new immigrants to Winnipeg or to Canada, who have to engage in 2 or 3 jobs so they can be able to maintain their family, do not have enough time for supervision. And these kids are very innocent. They actually don't know how much harm they are doing to their future by not paying attention in school or by staying up late. The Creative Foundation actually, which started in Winnipeg in 1999, was first started by me in Nigeria in 1994 while I was still in Lagos. And before 1994, I had taught at Lagos State Model College for 10 years. And by this time, I resigned my appointment, my teaching appointment. And to my surprise, the school principal by the name Alhaji B. Badamosi came to my studio and informed that the students that I have taught and left behind came to his office without warning with placards and protest signs that crying that he must go and invite Mr. Isa Akimbolaji to come back as a teacher. And he explained to them that it was voluntarily that I resigned because I wanted to go and focus on my visual art. And before joining the school, I have been exhibiting on regular basis for so many years. But since I got to that school, I became really so busy, and the school being a special institution. So in the evening, we coordinated what we used to call Arts and Craft Club, where I get all the students to come together. We do mentoring program. I have to make sure that all the students have completed their homework in other subjects. And I also engage them at that point to realize how important all the subjects were. And I'll say 100% of them are successful today, and they are spread across the globe. But so after Mr. B. Badamasi came to my house and told me that he was disappointed that I won't want to come back. So he left, and 3 weeks later, he came again and said to me that he has spoken to the parents. And the parents agreed that indeed, as a professional artist, I needed time for my practice, for my profession. But that they will offer that I come back to the school only for 2 days in a week. And I could choose whether it is weekends or evenings during the week. And they offered to pay all the salary I was receiving when I was full-time. So with that, I realized that I could spend the remaining days on my art practice, and then I could spend 2 days to mentor the kids in time management and all of that. So that was how I returned back to the school. And upon returning back to the school, what we used to name as Arts and Craft Club, I told the school principal that I would like to change it to Creative Foundation. So, and essentially it's a foundation where student academic aids develop, the foundation of students' academics. That was what it was, a little art here and mentoring other subjects. So from that, we invited professionals, established professionals in various career fields, in medicine, in architecture, in visual art, in politics, in law. We invited them, and the school principal agreed with me that we should have a day of Creative Foundation. So that was how it started. And during the day of Creative Foundation, we invited television stations, radio, and newspapers. They came to cover our event. It was a big event in Lagos when it first started in 1994. And it was 1995, 1996 that I started thinking that I would love to go and study how to use computer abroad. So when I return back to Nigeria, it will help my art profession, and then I can return back to Lagos State Model College, where I started the Creative Foundation. But upon arriving in Winnipeg to study at Red River College, now Red River College Polytechnic, I just was restless. I knew I had to paint. I knew I had to exhibit. And then I had an exhibition which was coordinated by Ray Drex, who is also an artist and a curator of the exhibition that he invited me. With that exhibition that Ray Drex curated, I then met a number of artists and art stakeholders within Manitoba. And specifically, there was one man who was a member of the Manitoba Society of Artists. So he saw my work at that exhibition, and that was in 1998, and invited if I could join their society, Manitoba Society of Artists. And in their 99th year, we had to have an election at the end of the year. I think it was in November. I was at that meeting just to observe how as a new member, how their election is conducted, so that when I return back to Nigeria, I could share that experience with my fellow society artists there in Nigeria. And to my surprise, I was elected as the president of the society, and which meant that the 100-year anniversary became the responsibility of my fellow executives. And so with the 100-year anniversary that we coordinated and was a success, I became known to many art stakeholders and an artist. And unfortunately, around the same period was when political unrest in Nigeria became very dramatic. And I was thinking that, well, if I return back to Nigeria, and I don't know how safe situation will be. And not only that, when I left Nigeria, the electricity failure there was quite intense. And when I arrived to Winnipeg, I realized that 24 hours electricity were available. And the thought came upon that if I return back to Lagos with my asset of technology, I wasn't even sure if I would have enough electricity to enjoy the use of what I have learned. And it was at that point I started thinking of staying behind for a while. So, which was what eventually led to establishing the Creative Foundation. And since the Creative Foundation started in Winnipeg, fortunately, we have a number of successful individuals in various careers in medicine, in entrepreneurship, who can claim that they have benefited from what we established, and now it's growing from that. So Creative Foundation now has its location currently at St. Mary's Road in Winnipeg, and for anyone who may be interested in registering their kids to benefit from what we offer, such individual can go to our website, which is at thecreativefoundation.org, and you'll find our email address, you'll find our phone number, and we'll love to hear from you.
I want you to remember, like I said the last time, is remember to focus. If you don't remember anything further than I said today, remember to focus. It will take you to where you're going. Because along the line, you will see distractions and have confidence in your ability. So one thing I will say from my line of profession, which will be applicable to any area of life, is something we call a conceptual framework. Ideally, from there, other things are built from it. In your journey as a student and as you become a professional in the future, or an entrepreneur, what you need to focus on now at this stage of life is your technicals. That's what I was referring to as the conceptual framework. At times, in some professions, maybe it's some sporting professions or even your normal other type of professions, they call something muscle memory. It's because you've done something for so long, over and over again, it becomes automated at times. You don't even need to think about it. It's like, let's say somebody, something very common is 2 plus 2, right? Everybody says that 2 plus 2. What's the answer? 4. Thank God, nobody said 5.
Core skills or technical skills and soft skills. In school, you learn technical skills, core skills. Like if you're an accountant, then soft skills, a surgeon. But the ones that I want you to start paying attention to is those soft skills, your attitude, your listening skills, your ability to communicate. See, you can be so bright, but if you don't know how to communicate, you can have all the dreams in the world, but you must know how to communicate, what to say, because every one of us is in the selling business. And that's ability to sell yourself, your skills, your opportunities, and the ability to invite other people into your dreams is very, very important. And that is based on your ability to communicate. So 2 things I want you to start working on is your listening skills, to know what somebody is saying, to pay attention, and your ability to communicate what you want, to ask what you want from people, to communicate your expectations to people. Very, very key. Because you need those skills to be able to thrive, not only successful, but thrive and make an impact. All right? Thank you.
The moment you keep remembering that, the gratitude comes in, and the need to give back also set in. So, for in terms of reflection, I'm going to use myself as a personal example. So I'm going to ask you, what are you going to do next? All of you. So now, Creative Foundation, you have attended, you have gotten some experience, some knowledge, some certificate. What are you going to do next? So this is where my personal experience will come in. I'm someone that I'm always in my head. Like, I do a lot of things. That's why I said when I introduce myself, I'm a woman of many things. I do a lot of things. So if I'm doing this now, my question is going to be, what am I going to do next? So I got my first degree. I asked myself, what am I going to do next? So how does this help? How does this help the society? So I want you to always ask that question, what am I going to do next? Because this will be your driving force. We as parents can say, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be a surgeon, I want you to be this, I want you to be that. But what will keep you going is that question in your head. What am I going to do next? Because I promise you there will be challenges, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There will definitely be challenges. There will be some times you want to give up. But what will keep you going is the fact that, what am I going to do next? How am I going to benefit my community?
For the students here, if your parents are pushing you, not that they hate you, they want the best from you. What we do, no matter how busy you are, when you return from school, after you have rested for like 30 minutes or 1 hour, the next thing you do, you take your book. You have to show my dad. You have to show him what your teacher taught you in school for that day. It's very important. Same goes to the parents here, please. I want us, let's follow up with our kids. Let us know what they do in school. Not that you just come back and they oh, mom, dad, I'm back today. Oh, hi, how are you? No. Oh, ask them a few questions. What did you learn today in school? Is there any new thing you learn? And again, we should not allow them to remain in their comfort zone. Let them, like what our Mr. Ila said, we have where to go in future. There are many spaces over there that they can occupy. And remember, few people will get there, but I want you to be among those few people. Okay? So don't forget, please press forward, don't remain in your comfort zone, and make good choices in life.
Please subscribe to our channel and stay connected to our updates. We empower youth through mentorship, helping them build self-motivation and the strong academic foundation they need for future success. Our non-profit relies on the support of people like you to keep this work moving forward. If you'd like to make an impact, donations can be sent by e-transfer to cfiwpg@gmail.com, and tax receipts are issued for contributions over $25. Together, we can inspire, uplift, and shape the next generation of leaders. Thank you. Before we continue with the interview, we want to take a moment to further highlight the remarkable accomplishments of our guest. Over the course of his distinguished career, Dr. Aluko has published 361 peer-reviewed journal articles and holds 2 patents on bioactive peptides, one of which has been licensed to a Canadian nutraceutical company. He has trained over 100 researchers across undergraduate, graduate, and postdoctoral levels. His laboratory's discoveries have twice been featured by the American Chemical Society as global press releases in 2009 and 2018, showcasing his pioneering work on antihypertensive peptides and bitter taste-blocking peptides. He is a 6-time recipient of the University of Manitoba Merit Award for Outstanding Achievements in Research and Service. Dr. Aluko has been recognized by Clarivate Analytics as a highly cited researcher in 6 of the past 8 years, placing him among the top 0.1% of scientists worldwide. His honors include the 2015 CIFST William J. Eva Award and the 2022 AOCS Lifetime Achievement Award. He is a fellow of several prestigious organizations, including the Canadian Institute of Food Science and Technology, the Institute of Food Technologists, the American Oil Chemists Society, the International Society of Nutraceuticals and Functional Foods, the International Academy of Food Science and Technology, and the Royal Society of Canada. He currently serves as editor-in-chief of the Journal of Functional Foods. Professor Aluko has also been a distinguished guest speaker at the Creative Foundation's Words of Elders Forum. Please join me in welcoming Professor Rotimi Aluko as he continues his interview.
Okay, at the University of Manitoba, I'm a professor of food and human nutritional sciences. And so what that means basically is that I look at the composition of foods. I look at how we can, deconstruct your food. Say, for example, we take chickpea or beans. I look at how we can deconstruct it, remove the protein, separate it from the starch, for example. And then we look at how these deconstructed components of the food can have impact on human health. Of course, we know that normally we eat food to be healthy, to be strong. But in addition to that, we can find specific components in foods that, when we make them available in concentrated forms, all right, can actually have exceptional nutritional benefits, okay, like, reducing your blood pressure, making you immune to disease, to, infection, reducing your chances of getting, Alzheimer's disease, for example, or even diabetes, all right? So that's what we do basically is, basically deconstructing food, all right? And then looking at various components of the food and how these components can have very, very positive impact on human health. All right. So on a day-to-day basis, I would say, I have, of course, many trainings in the lab. I have, MSc students, PhD students, postdoctoral fellows, technicians, even undergraduate students that come to work in the summer in our lab. Okay, and each of them are assigned different projects. Okay, but all these projects revolve around isolating components from food, okay, and testing the potential of these components to have a positive influence on human health, all right, to reduce our dependency, for example, on drugs and other things, all right. So in general, that's what we do. But of course, the University of Manitoba as a whole, okay, like my department in particular, we do have various opportunities, okay, for students to do research, okay, to get their degrees. And apart from what I do, okay, we also have, we have colleagues that, work on other things that look at, whether whether the quality of food that is being produced is good enough for you to eat, where they help manufacturers to make healthier food products, But overall in the university, the University of Manitoba is a place of innovation, okay? It's a place of scientific, strength, all right? Many discoveries, okay, has, come out of the University of Manitoba. A very good example, of course, is the discovery of the RH factor. The RH factor, okay, has led, to, basically provided innovation that, allowed, almost, I would say, elimination of, fatalities, okay, in pregnancies, okay, when you have, pregnant woman and for some reason, you have incompatibility of the blood, things like that, okay, But what I'm saying is that the University of Manitoba, is full of potential, okay, for everybody, okay. So I would really, encourage, our sons and daughters, our young ones, to consider the university, the opportunity for career, is wide.
Please subscribe to our channel and stay connected to our updates. We empower youth through mentorship, helping them build self-motivation and the strong academic foundation they need for future success. Our non-profit relies on the support of people like you to keep this work moving forward. If you'd like to make an impact, donations can be sent by e-transfer to cfiwpg@gmail.com, and tax receipts are issued for contributions over $25. Together, we can inspire, uplift, and shape the next generation of leaders. Thank you.